Hello and welcome to Connected, episode 581. Today is December 4th, 2025. The year's almost over. That's upsetting. It's made possible by Squarespace, Century, and Fitbod. I don't know if I introduced myself already because I got out of order a little bit, but I'm Steven and I'm joined by Myke. Hi, Myke.
Wow, just hi, Stephen. I'm Myke. And we're looking down, really down the road towards our special episodes. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Can I give a little preview of that?
Yep.
So we will have our year in review, which is called the Annies. That should be out on December 18th, episode 583. Taking the week of Christmas off. We'll be back on January 1st with some sort of episode. I usually forget that episode. It's like I'm not on it. And then January 8th, we'll be making our annual picks for 2026 and grading them for 2025. That's episode 585 on January 8th. So lots of stuff coming up.
Right. And of course, I'm very excited to welcome to the show Federico Vitici. Hi, Federico.
Oh, yes. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
I got. We started talking about calendars before we introduced you. So I apologize.
Yeah. No worries. You're forgiven. Yes.
Yep. Stephen for calendars.
Okay. That came to my mind.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever thought about how prophetic that title was?
Was that not about your
No.
Kickstarter?
It was Prompt 56 in 2014.
Oh, dear.
Myke,
Wow, okay.
Federico, and Steven follow up on Sherlocking. Oh, I can't make this up. And discuss photo management in the light of the upcoming Photos app from Apple. Then Myke shares his experience with Android Wear, and the weekly pick sound effects gets played for the first time in ages.
I had experience with Android Wear?
Apparently. Also,
what was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. Weekly picks, I barely remember that. It was a long time ago.
Huh.
Also, I'm fixing a typo in that episode description that is now almost 12 years old.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
I'm gonna fix that.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's missing a period because it's too long. So I'm going to now doctor it. Don't tell Kate. Okay, now it's fixed. What are we doing today? What's going on?
We're supposed to be doing a podcast, but you're currently doing
CMS
work while we're all sitting here and listening to you.
Okay, sorry.
It's
Big
not like we don't
news.
have any big news to discuss or anything.
No.
So it's probably fine. Do you want to fix any more while we're here? Any more spelling mistakes?
I do want
or...
to tell a little bit of a story.
Okay.
Okay. It's really your story I'm going to tell.
Yep.
But this was one of those weeks at the beginning of the week, we were like, oh, it's kind of a slow news week. Do we need to do something fun that's not really a news topic? We spent some time on something, and then 2 Apple executives were announced to be leaving the company. And so we now have an abundance of topics. And I think, of course, we're going to start with Alan Dye, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this happened yesterday. Mark Gurman in Bloomberg reports that Alan Dye has been poached by Meta in what Mark calls a major coup. What I find is most interesting about this statement. So Alan Dye, head of design at Apple, is going to Meta, and Meta is setting up a design group that Dye will be running. He's got a C-suite role there, I think. Right, it's like chief design or something like that, right? But he's got a big role, and they're setting up a new team, and Alan Dye is taking a bunch of his lieutenants with him, including Billy Sorrentino, who was the guy with the incredible vibe from WWDC or an event this year. I feel like we met Billy Sorrentino for the first time. He was showing off visual intelligence, and he just had a really good vibe as a person. So they're going to Meta, and apparently it's some other head of software design. So human interface design is what Alan Dye, I guess, technically has been running. So they're going to Meta. They're setting up a new design team there, and they will be reporting into the CTO. But the thing that I find the most interesting about Mark Gurman's article is they got an official response from Apple, but it came from Tim Cook. Tim Cook gave a statement to Mark Gurman for this piece, which is fascinating to me Obviously, there are many threads to pull on for this. But like, it wasn't just a statement from Apple, or it wasn't a statement from a PR person. This is a Tim Cook statement, basically saying, here's who the replacement is. Design is so important to us. We have an extraordinary design team, etc., etc. But yeah, Alan Dye is going to Meta. I honestly have been dreading this discussion, if I'm being completely honest, because people are like, there's zero chill about this conversation, it feels like. So I don't want to continue from this point, and I will obviously have things to say, but I want one of you to start talking because I don't really know where to go from here, if I'm being honest.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of a weird spot in that I don't really hate liquid glass. I think it's obviously very controversial, and I obviously think that it's got problems. But I think liquid glass on iOS, I don't really hate it. And I actually think liquid glass gets a bad rap because of Alan Dye, because of the other platforms, and because of the visual work more than the motion UI work. So I think liquid glass animates really nicely, and there's the liquid part of it. I guess what I'm trying to say, the liquid part of it, I'm really a fan of. I feel like overall, though, I'm glad that Alan Dye is gone, because I feel like although I don't hate liquid glass as much as other people do, the overall legacy of this person is pretty much a mess on and especially on the Mac, I think, and which is why I think Steven would be more qualified to talk about this. But I feel like in this era, in this decade of Alan Dye, we've seen progressively the focus just being put more and more and more on iOS from a visual perspective.
Sure.
But I don't know. It feels like, especially in the past few months, clearly this person that used to be in charge of design was not really a UI designer as much as was a designer that just wanted to make stuff that looked cool and hip, perhaps to the detriment of some of the interactions. At the same time, huge asterisk here for me. I would not put a blanket on top of every single UI design from Apple for the past decade, because I also think that there are definite successes in what Apple has created over the past decade. From the dynamic island to live activities to the animations of liquid glass to Vision OS. So I think just saying, the Alan Dye era, throw it all in the trash, I think that's a little reductive.
Yeah. The same way that some people look at Johnny Ive's complete body work at Apple and say it was the best era ever. Like, no, there were duds, there were issues, there were problems. No one's, the three of us, right? Like anyone who has a career, there are goods and bads, highs and lows.
Yeah. And so it's a really tough conversation, not because I have any feelings about the guy. I actually personally kind of dislike the guy's vibe overall, just personal feelings. And I'm glad, personally, I'm glad that it seems like they're putting a person in charge who's a UI designer that's been working at Apple for such a long time. Personally, I don't vibe with the sort of aesthetic or just general, again, vibe that I get from Alan Dye. So I'm glad. But to say that, in the past decade, every Apple software design has been bad, I don't know if that's accurate, because I think there are a lot of really talented folks at Apple that have created features. Even the new Siri interface, arguably, I mean, Siri is super dumb, but the interface is pretty good. And there have been lots of cases of UI design from Apple that was copied from the rest of the industry, You can get a lot of Android phones from China that essentially copy the iOS pre-26 and post-26 design. So there has been some good work done, but the problem is the overall. Like the problem is when you take a look at the complete picture and all the platforms, and especially the Mac, you start to see that maybe some change was necessary.
Yeah, I think it's always complicated when you have a figurehead, right? Like you said, there's a whole there are multiple design teams at Apple, right? There's sort of the core industrial, design, there's software design, but then there's design teams, or designers embedded throughout the company as well who work on more individual projects, inheriting what's done at the top and applying it to their own projects. But Alan Dye was the face of it, right? He was in the video, and people who don't like liquid glass, right? And I'm with you, Federico. I mostly like it. I mean, I'm not saying there's not issues, but I like it. But I do worry about the longevity of it. Like, is it going to stand up in 5 years? Like, I don't think so. But, so I think the figurehead thing is complicated, right? That he's the face of a huge organization. And that really wouldn't happen in a company that wasn't Apple, because in the Steve Jobs and Johnny Ive era, like even though Johnny Ive wasn't on stage very much, I think kind of famously doesn't like being on stage, he was the face of design at Apple, industrial design, and then eventually both hardware and software with iOS 7 after Forstall was removed. The thing that I think Mac users in particular wrestle with, I think it's two things. One, it's the simplification of the user interface. This is true on iOS and iPadOS as well, but it's forgivable on those platforms because the screens are smaller. You're using it with your hand, you're tapping or whatever.
There's a good reason to do it.
Yes.
To
You
simplify.
You got a 6-inch screen versus a 32-inch Pro Display XDR, right? And macOS does have to scale. It has to scale actually much more than iOS and iPadOS because of the range of screens that it runs on. But there are people, and I count myself in this to a degree, that I don't love the direction the Mac has gone. Take liquid glass off the table before Tahoe. Things, affordances in the UI have been put behind clicks and behind menus and that sort of thing. And I think Mac folks, and look, I co-host a show called Mac Power User. Like I'm in this group.
You're one of the Maciest of folks.
We are very passionate about this platform, and we don't want it to stay the same, right? If you truly love something, you want it to get better. And there's, I think, reasonable arguments to say that it has not gotten better over the last 10 years in terms of design and usability. And I think that's where a lot of the friction is in this for people. And we talked some about this yesterday in our group chat, but being his background is graphic design, and clearly he's good at that. Like, he's had a long career at Apple. You don't have a long design career at Apple if you're not good at the level he was at. But I think
I find it so frustrating and honestly like disappointing when people say he was just a packaging designer.
Yeah.
This is like
come
a thing
on.
that I keep seeing people say. And honestly, I think if you think like that, you need to kind of check yourself a little bit, because everybody has a place that they come from, and they can work more than what they started as. I honestly, I find it quite disgusting when I see people say that kind of thing. It's very, very I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but like it just really puts people down.
It's
in a way that I
derogatory.
just don't that's the phrase.
He's just doing this. Yeah. Like, look at the three of us, right? Like, I came from a newspaper background and worked at the Apple store. Federico worked at an eBay store and got hooked on a MacBook Pro. Myke, your background was in banking. Like, where you start and where you end up, it should not be judged against you. It should be something that honors you, right? Like, that he has gotten so far. But that said, I agree with you 100%, Myke. Like, I really don't like those takes. But there is something to be said that if your skills are strong in one area, that doesn't mean they're going to be strong in every area. Just because I am good at what I do as a commentator and as, sort of an operations person for our business, for Underscore, it doesn't mean that I'm good at other things, right?
Mhm.
That may on the surface, it seems like my skill set could be applied to sports coverage or becoming a bookkeeper or an accountant, right? But the truth is that's not true. It's my skills and where I am are a good fit right now. And I do think that the Venn diagram of what Alan Dye is good at and what he is doing recently has sort of separated some. And I think that can be true while also your point being true of, oh, he was just a product, or just making boxes. Like, what are you talking about? Like, one, the people who say that, like, are the same people who tweeted about how awesome their MacBook Pro box was in, 2014 or whatever. Like, you loved his work he was doing then. You didn't know his name. But I agree with you. That's gross. And that is like wrapped into the figurehead stuff as well. But I do think like the dumbing down of the UI in places, making things too simple, but in reality you're making them more complicated, like things that look good, but in screenshots, but maybe fall down in the real world a little bit. I do think that's fair criticism.
Can I just jump up a couple of steps for a second? Is that right? So like one thing I was trying to say, because like I think I have a very different vibe on this episode. Like, I don't consider myself like a fan of Alan Dye or his work, right? Like necessarily. Like I do like Liquid Glass a lot. I think it looks significantly better than iOS 18. Was it 18?
Mm-hmm.
Was the one before? It's hard to remember now. Like I am a fan of it. And so like I don't have like this like distaste. I just don't have it. Like I see apps, like our apps at CrossForward, looking at the versions now to before, like iOS 26 has been amazing for us for like how it makes our apps look. Like and the general restructuring. This is like a funny thing to me, where I think one of the best things of iOS 26 is the way in which apps like design is restructured and the navigation, and that's not the visual part. But anyway, I think I just like feel like I'm more naturally being drawn to defend him, because I am finding such a distaste in the way that a lot of people in our community are talking about it, right? So like I just feel like I'm having that opposite reaction. So like I just wanted to put that out there as like a blanket statement for how I'm thinking. But I wanted to jump back to something that Federico said, and also just remind everyone of something when we're having this conversation. Alan Dye wasn't fired, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Dye was going nowhere, it seems. And he has decided to leave to go to Meta because the reporting is suggesting that this was surprising to everybody. Like, and so like, there is people outside of Apple that seem not to like him. There are people inside of Apple that seem not to like him. Some of them are talking, some of them aren't, like talking to people. I'm sure we've all had people message us in the last couple of days to be like, finally, like I have, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, but Apple, like, because Federico, you said change was necessary, right?
Yeah.
I don't think leadership at Apple believed that was the case. In fact, I think it was the exact opposite of that, right? Like they, if they clearly gave him a lot of power and remit to redesign every operating system this year.
Right. It's not like Liquid Glass like slipped out the door and they're like, hey, where did this come from? Right.
And I also don't think that this happened like it's a forestall moment. There has not seemed to really been this big backlash to Liquid Glass en masse in the world like an Apple Maps, right?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it sounds like from and we're gonna link to a John Gruber story that John is quoting some of his sources. It seems like there is a pretty strong contingent of people inside Apple that wanted this to happen and are celebrating. But it could be like the classic like the king is dead scenario.
But also, like me and Jason always talk about this on Upgrade.
Consider the source.
These are a self-selecting group of people that are talking to John Gruber about how happy they are, right?
True.
And like also like if you are a fan of Daring Fireball, you probably care about a lot of things that are specific that a lot of people in our audience do, including all of us, that maybe you think he hasn't done a great job with. You know what I mean? Like,
but then let me play devil's advocate here for a second, and I don't really know because like the details of what I'm about to say will be impossible to know. But if I were to play devil's advocate, I would say, well, if Tim Cook liked Alan Dye so much, why didn't they do whatever possible to retain him?
Well, so this is my theory about what happened here. I think he wanted a C-suite position, and Tim Cook has decided that will not occur under his watch, that no one will take the C-suite position, because it didn't exist before. It existed once for a short period of time.
Yeah, Apple opened the door to that with Johnny Ive, right? Chief Design Officer, please stay, do a car, do whatever you want. And this, in a way, I mean, it's like that was the small domino, and this is the big domino. Apple, that's a self-inflicted wound on Apple's part of making that a position. And it does open the door to the conversation of, in the background of all of this is Tim Cook's retirement, whenever that happens. If it's sometime next year, the reporting is kind of varied. But no matter what you think, that is coming, right, at some point. And so didn't get a C-suite position. Maybe he, again, like Federico said, it's impossible to know. This is all conjecture, but is there friction with other changes that are going to happen there? Like, did John Turnus cut him off in the parking lot and he holds a grudge? Like, I just don't know.
Or it's just like Tim's like, I'm not making any changes now, right? Like, whether he says that overtly or not, or he's just thinking that. But like, there's so much executive turnover in Apple right now. It's unknowable at this stage why that's happening, right? Like, is it just a bunch of people have all decided to retire at the same time, or some people are being forced out, or it's all dominoes falling because Tim is getting ready to leave and Turnus has a whole different group of people that he will want to put in place, right? Which you would kind of hope or expect from a new CEO, that they're going to put the people in that they want to lead the divisions in the ways that they want them. And that basically Dye saw this power vacuum with Jeff Williams leaving, and he's like, I can see Jeff is going, so if I'm going to be reporting directly to Tim, I want to have the title that other people have reporting directly to Tim, and like my predecessor had before me, right? Like, and so then they're like, no, you're not going to get that. And so, I would expect that at this level in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of talk, right? And that even though Apple, Google, Facebook, all of these companies are rivals, they're friendly. The people may be friendly, and maybe it came up, and they know that Dye is unhappy because he didn't get the chief design officer role, and so Zuckerberg's like, I'll take him.
Maybe I find the move to Meta being particularly interesting, because I think out of all the big tech companies, I think Meta and Apple hate each other the most. Meta clearly hates Apple, right? Like, Zuckerberg has the biggest chip on his shoulder about not having a mobile platform.
Well, Apple also
they turned off their
fundamentally trying to change their business out from under them,
and they turned off their whole company with when they were using those dev certificates inappropriately. But it which is still like one of the all-time funniest tech stories I think that's happened in my career. Like, we can't buy burritos on campus because Apple turned us off.
Yep.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. So whether you're starting something new or you're scaling something old, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim a domain name, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. I've been using Squarespace forever, and I use them to this day. All the websites for Widgetsmith and Pedometer and Sleep++, Squarespace. The Give Relay website we have right now, Squarespace. A bunch of nonprofits and organizations I help, Squarespace. So why do I keep going back? It's because it is really easy to get started. You don't have to be a web designer or developer to make something that looks great. You can even use their AI-enhanced website builder that lets you quickly and easily get something off the ground. You put in some information about your industry and your goals, and then combined with their award-winning website templates, you get something that is beautifully designed. And if you're like me, you're much more interested in the website and the content and the imagery and not so much the SEO. And so Squarespace handles that for you. Every Squarespace website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, has an auto-generated sitemap, and more. So more people find your site through search engine results. So head on over to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. Build your site, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected. The offer code CONNECTED will get you 10% off your first purchase and show you support for the show. Our thanks to Squarespace for their ongoing support of Connected and all of Relay. So that's interesting too, right? That he's going there. And I think that probably also is a factor in how the community is responding to this, because a lot of the community feels the same way. Like, I don't like Meta. Like, yes, I use their products, but I don't like them as a company. I think that's probably a bit of a factor too. But I do want to talk about what comes next if we're ready to move to that, because this news broke, and with it was, this is who we're replacing him with. There was not a vacuum. Apple was not going to have a vacuum of leadership here. And so Apple has named another longtime Apple employee to this role, Stephen LeMay, who has been at Apple, or at least I think the quote from Cook mentions like 1999. Like he's been there a long time. And he is a software interface designer, not a graphic designer. And again, I'm not putting that down at all. Like, it's just a different role. He is more traditionally who I would think this role would be for. But does that leave some of the fashion, some of the other things, like, out in the cold a little bit? Maybe it does. But I'm excited to see what happens. Nothing will be fast. Like, if you are listening to this and you're reading about this and you think, oh gosh, like, and you don't like liquid glass or the current state of things, like, oh great, WWDC next year is going to be like an overhaul. It's like, no, it's not. Like, these things take time.
Well, except that one year where it didn't, and it was a disaster.
And it was a disaster, right?
iOS 7 was
it
this.
happened right around the same time, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to go down the iOS 7 torture chamber again, but I do think it is interesting that they've chosen somebody with what could be a more sort of traditional background for this role.
But again, like, they didn't want him though, did they? Right? Like,
I mean, he wasn't promoted. I mean, Alan, I don't know the levels of these people beforehand, but Alan Dye got the job. Stephen LeMay did not get it.
And they didn't fire Alan Dye at any point and give the job to Stephen LeMay. Like, I think that there is a lot of people that are looking at this and they're like, great, it's all changed. But like, what if he's now just given the same, like, priorities and directive that Dye was given? And it's not like, they're not saying, he's like, I would like to fix the interface design, like the interface interaction design. And they're like, no, make it look pretty.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe so.
I'm not sure that this is like the I'm going to use the phrase, the panacea that people want it to be, right? Like, I don't think that we can just assume that this quote unquote fixes everything about Apple's design idea. And
I agree, but people have, when change happens and you're unhappy with the status quo, you attach hope to change. That's just natural.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm just here with a big bucket of ice water and I want to throw it over everyone just in case. Like, I don't want everyone to get too excited about this, because I just think that this is a very different scenario with Giannandrea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giannandrea is gone. We knew this was going to happen. He is quote unquote retired. Like they have most likely given this man a golden parachute. He's going to keep all of his benefits. He's going to get a wonderful pension, and he wasn't fired, and he's gone on his way now, and everyone's happy, right? Everyone's happier because they didn't want him to run the role anymore. They kept demoting him essentially. What are they going to do with this poor guy? Just let him go, right? And I think that could have happened to Alan Dye, but it didn't. Right? Like, I think these two together, I think, are a perfect encapsulation of kind of what I'm trying to poke at here, which is like, this change is not a change in the priorities of the leadership at Apple. Now, maybe this is going to shift the way that the design team works, but this was not a come to Jesus moment by anyone. Like, no one had looked in the mirror and was like, it's time to get rid of Alan Dye. Like, that didn't happen here. The only person that made that decision was Alan Dye. He decided to leave.
Yeah, but maybe that come to Jesus meeting happens when Stephen LeMay's in the office, right? Like when he is in charge.
I would hope so. Right? Because then that guy is going to get to run the thing the way that he wants to. I really hope that's the case. Yeah. Right? I want that to be the case.
I do think there is something interestingly in common between John Giannandrea and Alan Dye both leaving. And, you know, maybe I'm doing the thing that we were just talking about where, like, I don't know. But I don't think it's any secret to Apple's executives. They're very tuned in with what the community thinks and talks about. But the thing I worry about in reading these press releases, like, it's not a secret that iOS 26 and Liquid Glass and Tahoe and other design decisions have been criticized. And it's also not a secret that John Giannandrea was not the right fit for this job either, right? And there have been reports about how Apple said, no, you can't buy GPUs, and maybe he ran into their privacy policy, whatever. But I think it's clear that it wasn't working. And you don't have to look any further than Mike Rockwell being put in charge of the new Siri. And so part of me worries a little bit that Apple has let these things go too far. I think that's way more the case in the John Giannandrea side of things. But maybe they've let things go too far, and then they want them to play out. Like, okay, he's going to retire, or we're pushing him out, or golden parachute, whatever. Oh, Alan Dye's leaving. Woo, we dodged a bullet. We don't have to deal with it. Like, a little part of me worries about that.
Yeah. Right? Like, I think we have also, right, like, again, if I would take the view and say that Alan Dye is not the right person for the role, right? Like, I'll just take that view for this part of the conversation. John Giannandrea was not the right person for the role.
Yeah.
And I mean, what we had did we have 2 PR heads come and go?
Something like that.
We had
a bunch of back in the day, a bunch of retail people.
Yeah. Yes. What was the name of the person who created Meet You at Apple?
Was that Brown?
Something Ahrens?
Angela Ahrens. That's it. Yes. Thank you. Right. And again, like, executives, it's a hard thing, right? But
sure.
Then there are people like Phil Schiller, Craig Federighi, who've been there forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, are they the right people for the jobs either? I don't know, man. You know what I mean? But like, it's not. The whole leadership thing at Apple is just not feeling super comfortable right now. Like, people are leaving all over the place. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Federico, can you tell us a little bit about who is taking over the AI machine learning stuff? Because he's a big name, right?
Yes. So the person that is taking over, Amar Subramania. I'm sorry, I really don't know. So used to be an AI researcher at Google. then was hired by Microsoft 5 months ago, and now they're joining Apple. So, and what I think is interesting is that Subramania will oversee Apple Foundation models, ML research, and AI safety and evaluation. So it seems to me like obviously this is a role that's being filled by somebody with a background in AI research, and it's especially interesting to me the AI safety and evaluation field because one of the problems with what Apple announced that we talked about is the risk of the models getting the details wrong about your request, or maybe misinterpreting like what data you want to fetch from which apps on your device, or even worse, the risk of prompt injections. Like what if you're passing some insecure data to an app that's reading that from the LLM, and suddenly you're found with one application sort of exfiltrating your data to another without your explicit consent. And so someone with the background in AI safety and evaluation is an up-and-coming field where obviously famously Anthropic spends a lot of resources on. OpenAI seems to be taking this field more seriously. But I think first of all, interesting. And second, Apple Foundation models are not going away. So the idea that, Apple is now striking a deal with Gemini, that means they're stopping their work on foundation models. That's not going to happen. It sounds like, and rightfully so, I would say.
Yeah, and it feels like maybe for Subramania, like this role is pitched, this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Where like for Giannandrea, it was like,
you're
you're doing all of it.
Yeah, for Giannandrea was like, you are our AI god. Please do
Yes.
AI.
Where now, like, that Rockwell's still doing what he's doing, and like Federico's teams are doing what they're doing, etc., etc. But like it's maybe just like a shifting and repositioning of what an AI role would be at Apple, and that maybe this wasn't what maybe they offered this to John Giannandrea, and he was like, no, that's not what I came here for. Like I want to be a product guy, right? Like we don't know, and that wasn't what they wanted because they weren't, whatever. But like there's shift there too. Oh dear! It's such a strain. Like I know all we're like, it's punditry, right? Like is what we're doing all the time, and I know that like in the role of being a pundit in technology and sport in anything. You're like talking about people and what people are doing, and you're trying to guess, is that what we're doing every week? Mm-hmm. It just feels super weird talking about people's careers.
Yeah, well, it's good practice for when Tim Cook leaves. We're getting our reps in now.
Good point. I mean, we're really getting the reps in though. Like I said, there's so much change over there, and it just keeps becoming more and more like.
I gotta say. Just hats off to Jeff Williams, right? He made a bunch of money. He's never going to be CEO. The man just retires to spend life with his grandchildren. Like, that's what I want, right?
Yeah.
Just do your thing, do a handoff to a solid lieutenant, and
before
then just
all this mess, too.
Oh, I know. He's reading this. He's like, woo!
Wow.
Dodged it.
Dodged that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bravo, Williams. Bravo,
seriously.
Jeff.
What a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect that over the next, 12, 24, 36 months, there's going to be more of this, right? I mean, you just scroll through Apple's leadership page. There's a lot of folks there who have been there a long time. And even if nothing dramatic happens, they're going to age out, right? Tim Cook, Jeff Williams, right? But you've got Phil Schiller, and you've got eventually Craig Federighi. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's not 30, right? It's these things there's going to be more of this, and there will be a point in the future where the only face on that page that's on that page now could be John Turnus, right? And maybe some lawyer person we've never heard of and never talk about. So it feels like this is the beginning of a chapter of a lot of change for Apple.
Oh, Craig is only 56. He's got
he's spring chicken.
Yeah.
And he runs all the time, right? You see him in the keynotes.
Healthy.
Zipping
he's
around.
A head of hair.
Doing parkour.
If anything, I guess it's shaping up to be a really interesting 2026 for Apple.
Yeah.
Between the AI saga was already interesting. And then the news that Tim Cook is apparently gonna retire next year as CEO. And now this, and the new devices that are coming out next year, I think it's gonna be interesting. Which is, I think, we've had a few boring years, to be honest, with Apple. There was a boring period. Same devices, same people, same software, and now everything is kind of changing. And I don't know, it's exciting.
I just want to jump back to one thing about the design stuff.
Sure.
'Cause I just find an interesting thought. Again, we don't have visibility to these people, so we don't know. But I feel like the last year or two, we've just, especially Mark Gurman has been reporting, like person after person leaving to go to LoveFrom, to go to IO, like people leaving to go to where Johnny is, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been like lots of top people leaving. And I just wonder what that results in. Like, is this a higher than usual, quote unquote, brain drain from an organization? Like, have they lost too many senior people too quickly? Is that good? Is that bad? Right? Like, I don't know. But like, I find it interesting to be like, well, they're in this spot now where they've, like, a lot of work has been done, and we've ended up with like this whole new operating system design, and then like a bunch of people leave, and then there's a new team coming, and now they're going to carry on from here. Like, I think it's a fascinating thing to think about.
I think that it's definitely, it's been more in the spotlight, right? Because Johnny Ive is such an influential kind of outsized figure in this world. And the man just loves San Francisco. He walks around with springs in his elbows. And Mark Gurman seems particularly tuned in to this, right? Like, he's loving the brain drain story right now. And maybe it is high, but I don't know. It's hard to compare this with anything, because really, this, if we are in the beginning stages of Tim Cook leaving, and these changes are either related to that, or they're somehow, it's all kind of floating in the same ether. We haven't really seen that at Apple, right? You had a string of CEOs in the 90s who were mostly bad. Jobs came back and instilled his next leadership. That's the core of this group. And then Jobs passes away. Tim Cook becomes CEO, but the vast majority of those core people stay. And
yeah, that's interesting.
What we're seeing now could be what a more typical situation looks like, right? Where you have a CEO and lieutenants that have been there a long time. Some of those folks are going to leave and go other places. They're going to go work with the people they know and love. I did find it sort of humorous in Gruber's piece about how he thinks Johnny Ive and LoveFrom view Alan Dye. Like, some designers can be very dramatic.
I don't understand that, by the way.
What do you mean?
Like, well, I would assume that Johnny put him in the position at Apple, right? Johnny was his boss.
He was, but I think Johnny also is like, he's doing this whole thing of like, the phone is bad. Like, maybe he's just trying to clear his conscience of something that he feels like he needs to. It's hard to say.
I just, because it's like he's just saying, John Gruber says that apparently people at LoveFrom have said to him that Johnny views Alan Dye as a bad designer. But it is just kind of like, well, has this happened recently? Like, he was, he was running, he was named, he's been around for long enough now that he was named as, this happened when Johnny ascended to chief design officer.
Right.
And it was Alan Dye and Evan Sankey. And Hankey ran hardware and Ive ran software.
Yep.
It's like, I find that peculiar of like, well, if you think he's this, what, did he just recently become bad at his job? Like, I find that to be like a very strange detail. Like, it's very odd to me. Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know what Johnny's doing there if he is saying that stuff.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, some personal news.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to LoveFrom. No, I'm just kidding.
So this person's name is Stephen.
It is.
And they refer to him in some parts as Steve, and I just wonder how you feel about that, because,
I mean, I'm not one to tell anyone how they should identify as a person,
Yeah.
unlike you.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what?
Steven,
Wait, what?
Steven with a PH
What?
shortened to
Whatever,
Steve. I don't love it. Now, I will say I have inherited that because my mom would get mad when people would call me Steve, and I don't like it. I don't like being called Steve. I would usually correct somebody. So I don't know. Maybe he likes it. This episode of the show is brought to you by Sentry. Broken lines of code, busted API calls, and app crashes. Some of you have shivers going down your spine. No one loves these things, and that's why Sentry exists. It's the only developer-first app monitoring platform built to give you answers and not clues. Sentry gives you tools like error monitoring, distributed tracing, session replays, and 2 freshly minted tools, AI agent monitoring and structured logs, to get to the root cause of an issue faster. It's used by millions of developers, including some of the biggest apps like Claude, Disney Plus, and Duolingo. And Sentry recently launched a new AI agent named Seer, which can automatically generate fixes with over 90% accuracy. You may know that here at Relay, we built our own CMS and actually our own ad inventory platform as well. And we run Sentry. It is keeping an eye over those projects that are live that my company depends on. And when we have an issue, something breaks, something's not responsive, there's an error somewhere, we get notified. We have a developer, but he's a freelancer and doesn't work a lot of hours for us. And so if there's an issue, we both get an email, we can talk about what's going on, and he has the tools he needs to get it fixed and then go back to his day job. It is absolutely vital to the way that we work at Relay. So you have Sentry, you have Seer, their new AI debugging agent, which is like hiring an engineer who already knows your entire code base. It's awesome. So try it for free. Sentry.io, and tell them that we connected, sent you. That's SENTRY.io. The link is in the show notes. They have a free dev plan, and listeners of the show can use the code CONNECTED at sign up for 3 months free of their team plan and 150,000 free errors. That's Sentry.io with the code CONNECTED, or click the link in the show notes. My thanks to Sentry for their support of the show, my CMS, and all of Relay. Big news.
Okay.
The award-winning podcast, Robot or Not, has provided follow-up 10 months after we said something on Connected.
Okay.
So, on episode, 538 of Connected, titled A Future That Is Now Stuck in the Past.
Oh, that's a good title.
That's a great title.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Good title.
We were talking about the Vision Pro 1 year in. In that conversation, we brought up my review of the Vision Pro and the jacket that I'm wearing in that photo on 512 pixels. And on this episode, I said, I'm wearing this jacket today. And then we had a discussion about, can hoodies have zippers or not? Is a hoodie something you pull over your head or something you get into? And I said, this is not a hoodie because it has a full zipper. It's a jacket that just happens to have a hood. And then we debated and we decided that Robot or Not should handle this. And they have. Episode 328 of Robot or Not. John Siracusa and Jason Snell have weighed in. And they say, drumroll please, it's a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this instance, I will agree with John because he agrees with me. Did
I also say that it was a hoodie, or did I call it like
me and you both said it was a
okay.
hoodie. Steven said it was a jacket. It's obviously a hoodie.
Yeah.
And the fact that John Siracusa has also said that, I agree with John Siracusa. And we should all listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, Steven, what were you thinking? A jacket. It's all coming back to me now. A jacket? Look, Jesus. Okay.
What I like about this is I think Steven was like, we'll get John and Jason to weigh in because he thought that they would agree with him.
Yes.
And this is like one of these situations where now, it's kind of backfired. Because now, like, not only have we disagreed with you, they have disagreed with you, and so you're wrong.
So they were recording this, and you can hear this in the episode where Jason's like, I'm texting Steven. So I was just sitting at my desk one day, this was a while back, and Jason texted me frantically, do you have a picture of your jacket? I was like, I think he said hoodie. Do you have a picture of your hoodie? Which should have tipped me off. The one that you're wearing in that photo. So it was in the closet. So I like ran downstairs. And like they're recording as I'm doing this. Run downstairs, hang it up, take pictures of it for them. Those pictures are in the show notes, which is hilarious. But there we go. So it's a hoodie.
We really should have done this follow up in 10 months from now.
Oh man, we blew it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been
What
good.
else do we have in follow up? I mean, obviously less important things than this.
Yeah, Carl wanted to know if disabling Apple Intelligence has made my MacBook Air any faster, and it is inconclusive. Like, I still feel like it's chugging at certain points, so especially when I'm switching between apps. But ultimately, I do feel like right now it's not actually worth having Apple Intelligence turned on a Mac, so I've just left it off. And I will report back if I feel like I notice any significant difference, but as of right now, I don't think that it has, unfortunately.
And you're on Tahoe?
Yes.
Okay. Tom and others wrote in about white noise apps, and they mentioned dark noise, which is excellent, by our friend Charlie Chapman. I love the feature in dark noise where you can blend two sounds together, because I'm a brown noise plus rain kind of guy, and I have that saved as a preset, and it's awesome.
Well, I'm a company man, so I just used the Widgetsmith once.
We had a conversation about this feature, and I got shot down.
Yep.
So.
Well, I like Widgetsmith brown noise, and it's easy. And that's just what I use.
That was a whole adventure, finding those sounds.
Yeah, I bet.
I recorded them all. No, I'm just kidding. I did that.
Oh, wow. Steven just going into the microphone for an hour. Now, that would be amazing,
Yeah.
The Steven versions. Oh, it could be like brown noise Steven's version.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Also, brown noise, don't like the name.
Well, I mean, sure. But it's...
I know, it just is the sound
name.
Noise. But like, I don't know why brown would be softer than white. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But like, not a fan of the name.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Another Tom, it's a 2-Tom week, double Tom.
Tom.
Wrote in about licking. I was going to share an image of my phone that made me smile. The Photos widget happened to be displaying a photo of my daughter licking a mirror next to an Overcast widget with the episode named Lick It Twice.
Yeah. We got quite a bit of feedback on social media about the title of the episode. I'm not really sure why it seemed to encourage people so much, if I'm being honest.
I saw the notification come in on my phone. I was like, oh no.
And you also quoted it back to us too, which is fun.
Yeah. Lick It Twice.
Lick It Twice. First me.
Then me. Yep.
Hassan wrote in and said, in a previous episode, Federico, you mentioned that you were moving your main account from the US store to the Italian store. I'm planning a similar transition since buying US iTunes gift cards is getting harder, which I rely on for over 10 years, and family sharing is complicated with a US account outside of the US. What are the best ways to do it, and how has it worked out for you?
I'm sorry, Hassan. I stopped doing it. So I started this whole process, and then I realized 3 things. 1, I had to lose all of my test flight betas and ask every single developer to re-invite me with a different email address. Number 2, I was gonna lose my entire iTunes media purchase history. So TV shows, movies. I still buy those, especially now that, you can get some pretty good deals on box sets for TV shows these days.
Yeah. Where would someone find such deals?
Well, there is this account called the Mac Stories Deals, managed federated everywhere, managed by OTJ with some little help from the AI. It's just John and the AI finding the deals and curating the deals. John is becoming one with the machine for Mac Stories deals.
I don't know why, But I would really like to just be a part of the conversations between John and his AI.
I've seen
assistants and
screenshots.
just,
They're
see what's going on.
they're
in there.
hysterical sometimes. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like John getting mad at Claude and Claude complimenting John. It's a whole thing.
Oh, I want to see some of those.
Yeah. So that was number 2. And number 3, one of the reasons why I wanted to move from a US Apple ID to a European one was that I thought Alt Store was going to be a big deal, and alternative distributions in the European Union for apps really hasn't. And so I am not compelled to go through the whole thing for those 3 problems to get a couple of apps from Alt Store that I wasn't even really using that much, unfortunately. So
it's funny. I might end up being an Alt Store user before too long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, AltStore has said they're coming to the UK. I mean, well, the reason they're doing that is because our competitions authority has said that Apple and Google above like monopolistic gatekeepers, basically. And so there is an expectation that they're going to start pressing upon the alternate app store thing as well. And so AltStore is kind of jumping the gun on that, being like, we're going to, like, this is they're lobbying, right? Like, I get it. This is part of what they do. This causes me quite a lot of stress. Like, I really don't want to be in a scenario where, like, me being here in the UK is going to result in it being harder to do my job, because features are going to be withheld or whatever. But that might just be where I end up, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll get AltStore instead. So that will be me. Even though I agree with it, I still kind of want to be able to do my job effectively. But we'll just see how that goes in the future. I think, honestly, everywhere's going to do it at some point, so maybe I just have to hold it out for a little bit.
Okay.
Big news.
Okay.
It is still the season of giving.
No, it's the new one. It's December. It's December. It's a different membership
It's
sale
a December
now.
to remember.
That's a December membership sale. Decembership.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Welcome to Decembership, everyone, where we're giving you 20% off an annual plan until the end of the year. Incredible deal. You've never heard it before because it's Decembership. For just $56, you can get yourself longer ad-free episodes every single week for an entire year. You get 20% off one of our annual plans, and you'll get tons of other bonus content available to you. We do monthly shows that are just for members. Stephen puts together a really adorable, I'll call it adorable, newsletter every month that goes out just to members. You get wallpapers, they look so good in your group chats, by the way. That's the thing. Stephen's not changed those, which is like the first time that's happened. Because I changed the wallpapers of our group chats and then Stephen removes them. But the ones where I've used the wallpapers of our shows, he's not removed them. Because he probably made them, so he thinks that they're good. And they are good. But you can get 20% off a year of Connected Pro. Just go to giverelay.com. You can find out information about how you can do it for any of our wonderful shows. And also, this is the URL that you might want to give somebody in your life that's like, hey, Jimmy, what do you want for Christmas? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy's like, I don't know, Auntie Sue. I'm hard to buy for. And then you say, oh, no, wait, Auntie Sue, giverelay.com because it's the month of Decembership. So, man, I'm going to some places. I'm creating a whole fake family here. Mm-hmm. But what you need to know, 20% off until the end of the year. GiveRelay.com.
This episode of the show is brought to you by Fitbod. When you want to change your fitness level, it can be hard to know where to start. It's honestly pretty intimidating. That's where Fitbod comes in. It's an easy and affordable way to build a customized fitness plan just for you. Everyone's fitness path is different, which is why Fitbod uses real data to make sure they customize things exactly to suit you, adapting as you improve so each workout will be challenging, pushing you to make the progress you want. I've been using Fitbod for a long time, and I really love this adaptation. So this comes in a bunch of ways. As I make improvements, or maybe I've had an injury and take some time off, it adapts to all of that. If I'm traveling or working out someplace I don't normally work out, there's options. So I can change in the app what I have access to equipment-wise, and it reworks the workout knowing what I can put my hands on. It's really great. And all this is stored in your Fitbod Gym profile. It tracks muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout. and it builds your best possible workout by combining AI and exercise science. Fitbod has analyzed billions of data points that have been fine-tuned by certified personal trainers. And you can be sure you're learning the new movements the right way thanks to more than 1,000 demonstration videos, another feature I really appreciate. So Fitbod tracks muscle fatigue and recovery to design a well-balanced workout routine, which means you'll never get bored as the app mixes up your workouts with new exercises, rep schemes, supersets, and circuits. And all this is really easy to use. You can stay informed with tracking charts, weekly reports, and sharing cards. And of course, it integrates with your Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatch, and apps like Strava, Fitbit, and Apple Health. Personalized training of this quality can be expensive, but Fitbod is just $15.99 a month or $95.99 a year. But you, dear listener, can get 25% off your membership by signing up at fitbod.me/connected. That's FITBOD, fitbod.me/connected for 25% off your membership. Our thanks to Fitbod for the support of the show and all of Relay.
So, Stephen, you wrote something on your website that I liked but didn't know why you did it, which was about the three things when Steve Jobs was originally introducing the iPhone. And he's like, today we're doing three things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. Are you getting it yet? These are not three separate devices. This is one device, and we're calling it iPhone. So you did an article about this, and then you tried to opine what it would be if a phone was released today, or if, in fact, what are the three things that an iPhone is today. So what made you want to write this?
It comes out of a conversation that is going to be on Sunday's Mac Power Users. So it's one of those podcasting.
Get in your show notes.
Yeah,
knock it in there.
Sneak it in there. Yeah, we're doing our state of the platforms on Mac Power Users right now, and
amazing.
Sundays is the iPhone, and this is sort of came to me. It's like, that's such a famous three lines, and where does the iPhone land now? And so you can see my article. You can see where I ended up. My three things, instead of the widescreen iPod with touch controls, a phone, and an internet communicator, I went with a camera, an app platform, and a communications device. And I'd love to know what y'all's three things may be.
So I was like, I agree with app platform, but it's not exciting.
The word that is the weakest, I think, in terms of the phrasing.
Yeah,
but
and so for me, I was just thinking about like what are most people doing with their phones, and it's like camera. It's the obvious one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone will agree with that. Camera replaces iPod in that, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's like this device will replace something you would otherwise need, and that was like what the iPod was serving in that. It's like, you don't need an iPod anymore because you have the iPhone instead. It's like better than it in every way, and it's all included. And then I was thinking the other two things for me is media and messaging, of like what are people doing with their phones, and like media works for however you might want to hear that. Am I saying watching YouTube? Am I talking about TikTok? Am I talking about reading the news? Like it's all media. So that worked for me. And then messaging is just like the way that you talk to people. I originally had it as 3 C's, but I forgot what the middle C was, and I don't know why I didn't write it down. But it was camera something connections. I think connections was the reason that I ended up getting rid of it. But like content, that was it. Camera, content, connections. But I didn't like it. So I just went with like camera, media, messaging.
Yeah.
That's how I would position kind of like what the three things of the iPhone today.
Yeah. What I was trying to get at with app platform, and I should have been more clear in the post, I guess, but sort of the idea like that the world moved onto the phone, right? That I can use my phone. I did say this in the post. I can use my phone for almost anything. For a lot of people, it can and maybe is their only computer. And that I think basically anyone is like, hey, the ship is sinking. You have time to get one device. They get their phones. And that's because of everything that it can do. So that's what I was trying to get at. Maybe an app platform, right? That's not the sexiest term.
But it's in the same way that a breakthrough internet communications device was met with silence.
Yeah, but it was the most important one.
Yes,
it's the only one of those that stays through to today. And
they didn't know it.
No, they didn't. No,
they didn't know it because otherwise there would have been an app store, right? And there wasn't one.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Federico? You got any ideas?
Yeah. I think camera, obvious one. It is a camera, but the other two, I'm sort of thinking like, okay, there's the camera that's like a standalone quality of the iPhone, but for the other two, I think I'm thinking about it from a personal and from a professional perspective, and so here's what I would say: it's a camera, it's a personal communications device, and the third, it's a mobile workstation. Because I cannot even tell you how many times I end up doing some work on my iPhone because it's got the same apps as my computer, as my iPad. I can use the same services. I can use the same AI. I can use Notion. I can use dictation. I do work on my iPhone a bunch, actually. And I obviously use it to keep in touch, phone, WhatsApp, iMessage, Slack. It is a personal communications device, but it's also a mobile workstation. And especially with the foldable coming out in 26, I think that's going to be even more true for me. And so I'm thinking about it with these three main qualities. It takes pictures and videos. It's a camera. And then it's for my personal communications. Because for personal usage, I really just do communications on it. I don't play games on my iPhone. Sure, I listen to music, but I mostly just listen to music on my computer when I'm working. And it's a mobile workstation because I very frequently just end up doing something like a quick blog post or taking some notes or watching a video for work, and I do it on my phone. And it can do all these three things. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to come back to it, but I wanted to mention this. Jason in Discord has said, in retrospect, the future of internet communication would have hit harder than a breakthrough internet communications device, which I agree with. But again, they didn't know that, so how could they have said it? But yeah, I agree with you, Federico. But like the work thing, I think it interests us as people who like their work. I think a problem a lot of people have with their phones is that Slack is on them. You know what I mean? And it's like, the boss wants me. Yeah. Go away, boss, But it does. It's like there's something about the iPhone that it is essentially a computer, so it can be whatever you need it to be, even if it is a different experience. Like it is an absolute like mobile window to what you need, right? Like if you need to be able to talk to people, you can do that. If you need to be able to open Airtable, you can do that. I mean, again, this goes back to Steven's app platform thing. That's what he's talking about. The problem is like that phrase, while perfect, is like stale,
Sure.
It's like, because as well, like I just don't even think people really think about it anymore. Like there's an app for that was like a fun thing, but now it's just like it's so. I think it's like you don't even really think about them anymore. They're just like it's just a thing. Like websites, it's like, oh man, I love all the websites on my Safari. It's like not really. Like I don't really think about it like that. Only if I had 6 or 7 and a cool app to keep them in. Then I would think about them.
What a week. I'm tired.
What a strange episode this was. I feel confused at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
In a good way. I mean, it's not every day that the head of design at Apple goes to work for Meta, so that probably justifies my confusion. It's a really strange episode.
What is he even going to do there?
I don't know.
I mean,
I agree with Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I mean, Zuckerberg had that whole big thing on Threads, how they're going to make a design studio and,
sure.
I think the
Yeah,
word
but, like,
metaverse showed up in there, which is weird.
Someone is leading design.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Like,
Do you not have one? Like,
yeah. Like, someone has been doing it. So, like, I don't...
Do you think Alan Dye is going to get a gold chain to wear on day one?
I really hope so.
I mean, you'd hope he'd be given it. Okay, so there is a detail in the thread on Threads is saying that, like, the people that were he names the people that have been doing in, like, design, interface and industrial design, that they will be part of the team that Dye will be running. So he is, like, if you know, for the diehards out there, if the people who didn't like him for doing software design, he's over all design, hardware and software at Meta, it seems. Like, yeah.
Well,
It'll be interesting to see. I give him 18 months and he's out.
I was going to say 2 years.
Why?
But yeah.
Why do you think so?
I can't imagine.
Because Meta has no taste.
Yeah, and I can't imagine someone who is
but everyone else will tell you that neither does he, so.
Well, the match made in heaven.
I don't think a lifetime Apple employee is ever going to be happy at Meta.
But he hasn't been lifetime.
How long has he been there?
I mean, 20 years, but like he had pretty senior positions. I actually didn't know this, like in fashion before going to Apple.
We'll see.
No.
We'll see. I also think you have a much stronger executive opinion in Zuckerberg than you do in Tim Cook. And maybe he's going to run into that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apple people will forget about him other than burning him to the ground. But I do think it will be very interesting to see what Meta does coming out of this.
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough of that. If you want to find the show notes, including a link to, what did you call it? Decembership?
Decembership,
yeah. You want to go to relay.fm/connected/581. Those links are also all in your podcast player. You can leave us feedback. There's a link in the show notes, or you can go to connectedfeedback.com. Send us a note, send us a tip, send us a poem, whatever you want to do. You can find more of us online. Federico is the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Federico, anything fun planned for the end of the year?
Yeah, we have the Mac Stories Selects Awards coming up.
Yes.
That's for sure. That's happening soon.
I touched one.
You did. It was very...
I touched the Widget Smith Mac Stories Select Award.
It was
very
fun.
I've never seen one in person before.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it a lot. It was a good trophy, actually.
Yeah, did you lick it?
Twice.
Nope. Nope, I didn't lick it. Did not lick it.
Should have.
At least.
Okay.
Not that underscore notes. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Who could tell?
Yes.
Did he have eyes on me the whole time? I don't think so.
Okay.
Myke hosts a bunch of shows here on Relay. You can check out his work at Cortex Brand and his writing at theenthusiast.net. Myke is also doing awards. The Upgradies are coming up.
Yeah, the Upgradies are coming. They're coming right up. Just a couple of weeks' time. Upgradies.vote. Send us your nominations.
Awesome. I am not doing any awards. Maybe I should.
I was going to say, I think you are. What about the Pixelies?
The Pixelies.
The Pixies. And you give 512 awards.
That seems
That's
time-consuming.
For you. That is my challenge for you. And I want physical trophies. Let's go. It's time to bankrupt Stephen.
You can find me on Mac Power Users here on Relay every Sunday. And I write and maybe give awards out at 512pixels.net. I thank our sponsors this week, Squarespace, Century, and Fitbod. And until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.